Guys, we get these testimonies all over the place. But before I leave, Mary, come on up here. I want you to come up here on today. This young lady, oh, she's sharp. Boy, look like a business executive today. My goodness. I want you to take a few moments, and I want you to, and I know you didn't know I was going to call you out. I want you to just share your personal testimony with the young ladies that's here today.
Okay. The reason why I got involved with Cherish, this company Inspire, and with the Cherish Pads is because around April of 2017, my cycle went from 3 to 5 days to all of a sudden 10 plus days. And by 10 plus days, I mean I might start on the first day and it may not end until about maybe 15 days later, which gave me a 1-week break before I had my cycle again. And it wasn't just a regular cycle where it was just bleeding, it was pouring, heavy feminine flow that was happening. And I was concerned about it. So I eventually went to my doctor to find out, what's going on I'm in my 40s, what could be going on with me, what's happening. When they did the test, they discovered that there was absolutely nothing wrong with me. I had little itty bitty tiny fibroids, and they said that's just not enough to cause the bleeding that you're having. I only had 2 of them. And so when I looked at that, and I was like, okay, well, what can I do, doc? And he laughed at me, and he said, really, there's nothing we can do. So I went home and medicated myself with iron and pills, anything to pull my energy level up, because that level of bleeding really wipes you out, and you could be borderline anemic, which he did not test for. So when I came home around the 2nd month, it got even worse, and by that point I was using my pet carpet cleaner to clean up my messes behind myself, everywhere, car, everywhere I sat. And that's embarrassing. I haven't had an accident since I was a teenager. So I started talking to my daughters, and I asked them, I said, well, is anyone else having this problem? And my 24-year-old, my 20-year-old said, well, Mama, around April of this year, we just started flowing more. And my 24-year-old began to have even more like allergic reaction symptoms to the product. So I was thinking about, okay, well, what's the issue? And my baby daughter was like, well, Mama, I think it's the pads. I did my research. Y'all young generation, y'all do a lot of research online.
Google.
There you go, Google it. So she said, well, Mama, I think that's what the problem is. And at that point, I was like, well, if that's the problem, we got a problem. Because I didn't know about this. I didn't even know there was an alternative. Outside of, I have a couple of friends, they make their own. I do too much movement, I travel too much, I can't do that. So when I was introduced to the product by Mr. James Smith and his wife Hannah, the first day that I used it, I was 4 days in to a 10-day cycle, 10-plus day cycle. The first day that I used that product, I only used 2 pads. Now remember, I was flowing, and all I had to use was 2 pads. By the end of the 2nd day, my cycle had almost completely dried up. Now remember, once again, this is a how many days? 10-plus day cycle. 2 days of using Cherish, and my cycle was almost over. By the 3rd day, it completely dried up. Everything went back to normal.
Wow. Yeah.
Wow.
Now,
amazing.
Let me tell you something about myself. I'm a bit of a scientist. I call myself that. And what I wanted to do was try and experiment at the same time, because when I tell ladies anything, and I'm an advocate for all things healthy, especially if it's going to improve your health and make you feel better and extend your lives. So before I can tell anybody anything, I have to sample it, try it for myself, which is what I did. You can ask Mr. James Smith, he's in the back, he'll tell you. I did try him. So I went and I said, okay, I don't want to use my good Cherish panty liners, because once your cycle's over, you still use panty liners for a little while until you're comfortable. So I took the Cherish ones off and I put on my regular store-bought panty liners. Hour number 1, everything was relatively normal. Still normal, cycle's over. Hour number 2, it was normal, but normal was flowing a little bit heavier. Hour number 3, I literally had to check myself because now I was flowing. Guess what had happened?
Your cycle came back.
I started bleeding again. That scared me.
Wow.
Put back on my Cherish panty liner. Within 1 hour, everything went back to normal, and it stayed that way. No more cycle. Best part about it, no odor, It's so comfortable. I've walked out of the house without product and been gone for 4 hours and be like, Lord Jesus, please help me make it back to the house. But it lasted. It does what it says it's going to do. Best part too, no cramps. No cramps. And here's my favorite part. No more mood swing. So thank you. That is one of my reasons for doing this. It saved the life of my 24-year-old daughter, my baby daughter who was diagnosed with polycystic ovarian syndrome. I'm not making any medical claims, but I will say that I put her on the Cherish pads to bring her some peace and comfort because she was really distressed. If anyone knows what polycystic ovarian syndrome is, it can rob you of your joy, your peace, your ability to have kids. It can cause cancer later on down the road because you're not shedding the lining of your uterus like you're supposed to. So she came home terrified. She looked up you know how y'all are? She looked up everything on the internet. She had a sheet this long. This was wrong with me, mama. So putting her on that product not only gave her peace of mind, once again, not a medical claim, but she does have her cycle every single month now.
Beautiful.
Wow.
And,
Woo!
and a young man, my 24-year-old who had, she actually did experience the toxic shock syndrome, but they misdiagnosed her and sent my baby home to die. I don't play about that. That was very disheartening to me because I could have woke up in the morning and found my sunshine on the couch dead. That's nothing to play with. They sent this young lady home with penicillin and told her, you just have a basic infection. It'll be okay. She woke up in the morning and said, Mama, I had to make my peace with God because I figured I'm getting ready to die. She said, I said, why didn't you call me? I was paralyzed. I couldn't move my legs. I couldn't move my arms. I could not talk. I could not scream. She said, and at some point, I guess I went to sleep. No, ladies and gentlemen, that's when she passed out. And she had been that way all night and into the morning. It was a Saturday. I didn't get up till like 9:30, 10 o'clock. God saved her life. We got a phone call from the hospital. It's an emergency. Your daughter has a serious staph infection. She needs to come back in immediately. By the time she got back in, this is how good God is. There was nothing there to see. Nothing here to see, ladies and gentlemen. It was gone. But it was there the day before because they had imaging and pictures of how bad the staph infection was in her. So I said all that to say this. I will be doing this until we run out of business, which we will never run out of business because as long as we have ladies, you're going to all need it. We're going to be here. I pray for our company every day. It's the best thing that ever happened to me, ever happened to my daughters. And I hope, ladies, that you take the opportunity to try it for yourselves. I promise you, you're going to be on our shit.
Wow.